Vicky, I'm on my second cup of coffee. You've got me beat with 4. I'm so glad to have you guys here. Happy Saturday. It's a wet one, so in my opinion, it's the perfect morning just to roll out your yoga mat and be in your cozy sweats or pajamas and do some yoga. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm Mikki, if you've not practiced with me before, and this is going to be your feel good Saturday morning yoga class. My plan for class is to get into shoulders and to get into hips and just to get into some of those tight areas that tend to get bogged down throughout the week as we work and sit and move. And right now, maybe sit more than normal for some of us. And so that's where we're headed. As always, I want you just to take the options this morning that feel good in your body and disregard everything else. And being at home is a perfect time to really honor what you need. No pressure. No one can see what you're doing or not doing. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. There's too little and too much, and then there's just right. So find your just right this morning. We're going to get started lying down on our backs. Good morning, Mom. So come on down to the floor. And as you come down onto your back, let's take your legs out to straight if that's comfortable for you. And bring one hand to belly and one hand to your heart. And do that in such a way that the elbows can be on the floor so that the arms are relaxing. And if it's comfortable and you have enough coffee to keep yourself awake, let your eyes close. And as though you could breathe into the entirety of your body, let's take a big full breath in and a full breath out. Let's do that one more time, as though, again, the entire body could breathe. Big full breath into your entire space. And then, as though the entire body could release as you exhale, breathe that air out. And then let's begin to set your breath into just a nice steady rhythm. Beginning our practice, our May practice of connection here with your breath, connecting to yourself. And at first, here, as you start to take these breaths, continue to feel them very much in the physical body. Again, that idea of being able to breathe all the way down into the tips of your toes and all the way up to the crown of the head. And then over time here, you might start to encourage that breath to move a little bit more deeply into yourself, kind of out of the tangible physical body and into the more intangible parts of ourselves. Maybe taking a breath into the part of you that feels peaceful this morning. Maybe taking a breath or two into the parts of you that feel light, whether that's weightless or that's kind of bright and lit up. Maybe breathing into the parts of you where love resides, that feeling, that sensation. Breathing into the parts of you where your truth, your authentic self resides. And using the movement and the breath of our practice this morning to continually connect with ourselves on a deeper and deeper layer, starting to disconnect from the more superficial kind of experiences of ourselves, right? Those emotions and feelings that bog us down during the week. And starting to let the breath and even our movement touch those deeper parts of ourselves where peace, love, and light and truth reside. Let's take the arms up overhead as you inhale, get long. Feel yourself get a little bit longer from fingertips all the way out through toe tips. And then as you exhale, let's bring your right knee into your chest. We'll reach down, grab onto your shin or your thigh. Don't get too comfortable because as you're inhaling, we're just going to release that right leg back to the floor and take the arms up overhead. We'll alternate that side to side a few times. Exhale, left leg comes in, hands reach down. Inhale, release the leg, take the arms up overhead. Let's settle into your rhythm here, exhaling to bring the limb in, to hug on. Inhale to release. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, get long. We're going to take a couple more rounds here to begin establishing your rhythm this morning. If you want to add on a little bit and add some core work, as you bring the knee in, let the nose come toward the knee. And then inhale, release. Exhale, left leg. If you're on that side, sorry, that's what side I'm on. Maybe the head comes in, maybe it doesn't. Inhale, get long. How about we do one more side or one more turn on each side and just make sure you leave yourself balanced. An even number of hugs on either side. As you release your left leg this next time, we'll take the arms up overhead, let those legs get long once again. And then as you exhale, let's bring both knees into your chest. We're going to start to rock up and down your spine and rock yourself up to a seat. Crisscross applesauce if that's comfortable for you, but any comfortable seat will do. And as you settle here, let's just take your right arm and bring it into the small of your back. So the palm will be facing away from your body, and the back of the hand will be resting somewhere on that low back area. We're going to let your left ear fall toward your left shoulder. Let's take some really full and steady breaths, feeling the effect of those breaths in the right neck and the right shoulder. If you want a little bit more, let's take your left hand to the top of your head. The hand's going to ever so gently press down, very gently on the head. And I want the head to resist back up into your hand. It's very subtle actions. Doesn't need to be too intense. The left hand to join to that party. Let it just come on back down to the ground. Ever so slowly bring your head up on top of your spine. We'll release the right arm and let's take both arms out wide into the sky. Maybe let your gaze follow the fingertips. We'll press the palms together overhead and exhale, hands down into the heart. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, reaching. And hands to heart. As those hands settle at your heart, we're going to go ahead and web all those fingers together so your hands are holding one another. And then let's press those palms forward with the fingers clasped. Let your head fall between your arms. Little round in that upper back. And then nice and slowly, we'll straighten the spine, take your palms and your head to the sky. And then let's just hit rewind. Exhale, palms go forward, spine rounds. Start to release the clasp, bring the palms back together and into the heart. Let's tip back onto your sit bones. We'll recross the legs. Whoop. And then let's get that other side. Left arm into the small of your back. Right ear toward right shoulder. And just by moving our bodies in ways that we don't typically throughout the week, different angles, different lines, different shapes, we're able to create and connect with new neural pathways in the brain that kind of shake some of the stale stuff off, those patterns and habits that we get into throughout the week of our thoughts and our connections with ourselves. Maybe you add that right hand in. Again, the hand is pressing down, the head is resisting up. A couple more breaths. So just time and time again this morning through our practice, allowing yourself to move and breathe in a way that is deepening your connection with yourself. And if anything is pulling you out of that connection with yourself, the poses are actually making it harder to connect, you let the poses go and you honor where you're at. Let's slide that right hand toward the floor. Let the head lift up. And then we'll take that left arm, releasing it, and both arms out to the side, up to the sky. At the top there, we'll press the palms together and exhale, hands into the heart. Let's do that again. Inhale, reaching. See if you can remember which thumb was on top as you bring those hands into center, into heart, and try to re-web those fingers with the opposite thumb on top. It should feel a little awkward, like you're holding someone else's hand. We'll press the palms away, round to that upper back. Inhale, straighten, lengthen the spine, palms toward the sky. Exhale, press forward. Releasing the web, bring the hands to heart, heart to thumbs, head high. And let's move over into hands and knees. So as you find your table pose, set up with wrists below shoulders, knees below hips. Let's inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the head, cow pose. Exhale, round the spine, cat. Syncing up with your rhythm of your breath again. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Breathing into the place where peace resides within you. Continuing this movement. And breathing into that place where light and love reside. Releasing everything that gets in the way of that connection. Let's take one more round here, breathing in to that place of truth. And then as you inhale, we'll find table, just a long spine. Give a little hug of that outer left hip in so that we don't kind of sit into that hip as we start to move the right leg back. Let's inhale there, get long from the heel through the crown of the head. And then as you exhale, we're going to bring your right knee in toward the nose. You might even kiss the knee. And then inhale, take it back. This time as you exhale, let's bring your right knee toward your right upper arm. Round your spine like cat. It might touch the arm, it might not. And then inhale, take it back. One more time, we'll cross the body. Right knee, left arm. Again, it might touch, it might not. And then inhale, take the leg back. Let's put the foot of toes on the ground. Leg is still straight. Start to feel the belly lift up and toward the spine. Stay here, or begin to sneak your left leg back to plank as well. Just a little Saturday morning plank. From wherever you're at, we're going to take the hips up and back, finding your downward facing dog. Let the head hang, let those heels lengthen toward the ground. And then let's move back and forth between plank here a couple times. So if you're happier in down dog, just stay. Or inhale, plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's do two more there. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. One more time. And from this down dog, as you inhale, we'll bend the knees and return those knees all the way down into the ground and into your table. As you find your table, let's turn your fingers out to 3 and 9. So right fingers are pointing rightward, left fingers are pointing leftward. And let's do a little rotation or circular kind of movement of the shoulders over the wrists, kind of like you're stirring a pot. And then go the opposite direction. And then let's turn those fingers back to your normal table shape, index fingers pointing straight forward. We'll take the left leg back, give a little firming in of that outer right hip. Try to remove as much banana as possible. So instead of letting the belly fall toward the ground, see if you can engage the core to lift into that low back. We'll inhale here, get longer, and then exhale, bring the knee in toward the nose. You might kiss it, especially if you kiss that other knee. Wouldn't want them to feel unloved. And then inhale, take it back. Exhale, left knee, left upper arm. It might touch, it might not. Inhale, take it back. Left knee, right arm. And back. With that leg straight, we'll lower the toes to the floor. Start to press back through that heel, almost like that heel's against the baseboard of a wall, so that leg can get really strong and powerful. Stay here or sneak your right leg back into your favorite pose. It feels less horrible if you like it or pretend you like it. We're going to head from wherever you're at into downward facing dog. And again, you might choose to stay for 3 breaths, or let's move forward into plank with your inhale. Try to get the weight even across the palms of your hands so you're not dumping weight into the baby finger side or the wrist. Exhale, downward facing dog. Almost like a wave rolling forward. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. And final time here, we'll roll forward and roll back. And as you roll back, let's start to walk feet forward little by little. Bend the knees as much as you need to. And we'll come into your forward fold. Keep those knees bent. It's Saturday morning after all. Let the low back have some space to release. And let's grab opposite forearms or elbows. Let the arms dangle. Let the head dangle. Take a little nod or shake of your head, perhaps. And then let's bend the knees quite a bit more and roll yourself up inch by inch by inch. Stacking your body like you're just getting out of bed for the first time. Feel all of the bones stack upon one another and take your hands up toward the sky. Maybe closing your eyes for a moment and feeling things come into alignment. Whatever that means to you, whatever that feels like to you. Let's reach a little bit higher through the right fingertips. A little bit higher through the left fingertips, almost like you're climbing a rope or a ladder. Equally high through both. And then let your palms join together overhead and bring your hands down into your heart. Let's begin to move a little bit more. So with feet rooted, let's inhale, hands up. And then hands will come down through center, put a soft bend in your knees, let's fold. And allow the fingers to find their way to your shins. Inhale, fingers slide up the legs as you come up halfway. And then exhale, slide back down, bow forward. Root into your feet. Inhale, rise up, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart. A half sun salutation for the sun that is hiding. Let's do that one more time to set our pace. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Your pace might not be my pace. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, rise up, reach up. And hands to heart, exhale. We'll add on. Inhale, let's reach. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Feeling the breath move in and out of your entirety. Exhale, fold. Right foot stays, left leg steps back. We'll bring that back knee down to the floor. And let's come on up into your low lunge, hands to the sky. Couple breaths. Feel that right foot pressing down into the floor and pulling back. Left knee pushing down and pressing forward. So it's almost like the legs are scissors drawing toward each other. And then let's bring both hands around your front foot. And it doesn't need to be graceful, but we're going to pull back to half splits. And sometimes this one takes a little bit of clunkiness to get into. So your front leg's going to straighten. The toes of the front foot are going to lift and pull back. This one's intended half splits as a lengthener for that front hamstring. Now, a couple of you, I want you to stay here. I know that the rolling between the lunge and half splits is not comfortable on everyone's back knee. So if that's you, or if this is just kind of an awkward shape, I want you to stay for a couple more breaths. Those of you that are comfortable moving back and forth here, we're going to inhale, come forward to low lunge, hands go up. Exhale, hands to the floor, or even reaching back, half splits. Let's take 2 more. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half splits. One more time, low lunge. And half splits. Wherever you're at in that sequence, with your next inhale, we'll bend the front knee, tuck your back toes under, lift the back knee off the floor. Again, feel like the left heel has something to press back into. Strong, powerful leg. Let's place your left hand below your left shoulder. Take your right hand up to the sky. One more full breath here. And then we'll bring your right hand down. It does not need to be graceful. Any way that works for you. Downward facing dog. You are invited to stay here or inhale, plank pose. We'll add on the vinyasa at this point. So knees come down for this first one. Elbows point straight back as you lower to the belly, chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra. Heart lifts, shoulders melt down and back. And then let the forehead come on back down to the ground. We'll lift up through table or plank, your choice. And downward facing dog. Option to stay here with 2 feet on the ground. Option to take your left leg, lift it up and back. Option to stay here, or as you exhale, bring your left knee into your nose, shoulders over wrists. Round your spine. Inhale, take the leg up and back. One more breath wherever you're at. If you're moving, left knee comes to nose, up and back. Inhale. Any way that works for you, left foot between your hands. We'll ground that back knee and come on up, low lunge. Feeling the breath and the shape, feeling that scissoring action of the legs. And then let the hands come down around your front foot. Half splits, front leg straightens. Do what you need to do to find that length up the back of the front leg. And then if it's better for you in your connection with yourself to stay here and be still, you stay. If that movement works in your body, we'll bend the front knee, come on up, low lunge. And exhale, half splits, either hands on ground or hands reaching back. You choose. With your pacing, 2 more rounds of breath here. Maybe moving back and forth, maybe finding a place to be still. From wherever you're at, we'll bend the front knee, let the sole of the front foot come down. Tuck those back toes, lift the back knee, power up that back leg. Right hand under shoulder, left hand to the sky. One more full breath here. At the end of your next exhale, left hand comes down. Look forward, step forward, feet together. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Full, complete inhale here. Full, complete exhale. One more full breath. Feeling that breath deeply within yourself, deeply at your core, quote unquote, your center of truth, your center of you. Inhale, hands go upward. And exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. And as you fold, we'll step the right leg back first this time. I'm going to give several options. So one is going to be to stay here with a little sway or a little kind of movement forward and back. Option 2, right hand down, left hand to the sky. Option 3 is to start hovering those right fingertips off the ground. So the legs are holding you up. There's no weight in the hands. From there, you might start to bring your arms up parallel to the ground, right hand forward, left hand back. You might stay there or wherever you've stopped. One final option is to take that left hand toward or onto the back leg, right hand to the sky. Less about what the body is doing and more about the connection that you're forming. Pick an option that allows you to connect deeply with yourself. You've got 2 more breaths wherever you're at. If you're in that revolve shape, you've got the left hand reaching toward the back leg. Maybe you straighten the front leg. And if you can do that in the shape you're in, maybe you do it. And then bend the front knee. One more time, straighten. And bend. And we'll let both hands come down around the front foot. Make your way back anyway. Downward facing dog. You're invited to stay. You could return to some cat-cow or a child's pose if that's best. If you want to keep moving, inhale, plank. Knees up or down, chaturanga. Elbows point straight back. Inhale into the cobra shape that you feel ready for. It could stay low or it could come up high. Your way back down to your belly. Inhale, press up, table or plank. And downward facing dog. If it makes sense in your body, right leg lifts. You might stay there, or as you exhale, right knee to nose. You could kiss it again if you want. Inhale, up and back. We're going to do that one more time. Bring it in. And take it back. And foot between the hands. So honoring the option that you need this morning. Option 1, fingers stay down. Option 2, left hand stays, right hand lifts. Staying there or beginning to hover those left fingertips. Staying there, beginning to float those arms up parallel to the ground. Maybe revolving, right hand toward the back leg, left hand high. And wherever you're at, you have 2 more breaths. If it would make sense in your shape to straighten the front leg, inhale and straighten the leg. And exhale, bend. One more, straighten. And bend. At the end of that exhale, hands come down around your front foot. We look forward, step the feet together. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising up all the way to your mountain pose Tadasana. And then this time, instead of hands coming to heart, let's swim the arms behind us. Clasp the hands so all of the fingers webbing or just thumbs, your choice. Let's take your feet, wiggle them as wide as your yoga mat. Knuckles toward the ground, heart toward the sky, shoulders opening back. You are welcome and invited to stay here if you'd like. If it would feel nice to bend your knees, fold the torso over your thighs and let those arms fall away from the low back any amount. Invite that to happen. Let your head be heavy. 2 more breaths wherever you're at. Taking note of which thumb you have on top in your clasp. If you're folded, let's bring yourself back upright. And then we'll all release the clasp, take the hands to the sky, get long. And then swim the arms back behind you, clasping with the other thumb on top. Again, knuckles toward the ground, heart high. So instead of just plugging the shoulders back, can you get your upper back to move in toward the chest? And that creates the space in the front of the shoulder. Stay here, bend your knees, fold over your legs, and let those arms fall away from the low back any amount. If you're folded, slowly root into those feet, rise up. Hands to the sky. As those hands go up, let's press the palms together if that's okay in your shoulders. Point the index fingers straight up as you web all of the other fingers together. You can look up or you can look forward. We're going to root into your left foot. Take your right or your fingers toward the right. Little side bend toward the right. Come back up to center. Same thing to the left. Root into that right foot. Back up to center. Hands to heart. And let's wiggle your feet underneath your hips. Put a little smile on your face and sit back into your first official chair pose of your Saturday morning. Chair pose number 1 of 20. No, I'm kidding. Let's keep your right knee bent. We're going to start to shift onto that right foot as you start to hover the left leg, maybe bringing that left knee up toward the heart, but I want that right leg to stay nice and bent. Continuing to encourage that breath to connect really deeply, even as we stand on one foot. And then we're going to start to take your left leg back, and I'm going to encourage you this morning to keep that right knee bent. So it's warrior 3 with potentially both legs slightly bent. If you're going to straighten one leg, let it be the lifted leg. A breath here. And then we're going to bend that front knee a little more, root into the heel, and step all the way back into your crescent lunge. Let your hands come on up to the sky. And then we'll ground your back heel, open up, warrior 2. And your feet could be lined up either, I personally like heel to heel, even for my warrior 2. You could try heel to arch, but definitely having a good amount of space between the feet left to right. Let's keep that front knee bent. Take your left hand down the back leg, right hand to the sky. Let your gaze be anywhere where the neck is happy. And then if it makes sense in your body, we're going to inhale, straighten the front leg here, reverse triangle. And then exhale, bend the front knee, reverse warrior. Let's do that 2 more times. Straighten. And if it doesn't feel good to straighten and bend, just stay bent and keep breathing. 1 more time here. As you bend the front knee this time, let's bring right elbow to right thigh. Left hand straight up toward the sky. We're going to turn your left palm to face behind you. Bend your left elbow and slide that left hand into the small of the back, just like you did when we were seated earlier in your crisscross applesauce. Let's take your gaze to look down toward your right foot. Use that half bind, that's what this arm is called here in the back, to help open the front of that left shoulder. And then slowly turn your gaze to the side and maybe up toward the ceiling. Now you've tried on all the potential gaze points. Pick the one that makes your neck feel the best. You've got 2 more breaths here. Really open that whole left side of the body. And those of you that are wanting more this morning, begin to float your right arm straight forward. Let's ease yourself back up, warrior 2. And then let's bring your hands to your heart. We're going to turn all 10 toes toward the long edge of the mat. Parallel your feet. Pull the hands back behind you into that clasp that you did at the front of the mat. Soft bend to the knees as you lift the heart, take those shoulders back, knuckles toward the ground. And let's fold if that makes sense in your body. Your legs can stay partially or even a lot bent here. They can straighten if that's comfortable for your legs. Without force, let the arms fall away from your back. Let that be from ease and softness, not from force. Let the head be heavy. And then put a small bend back in your knees. We'll rise all the way back up. And as you come upright, let's turn your toes out, heels in, and bend your knees. Horse pose or goddess. Let's sneak your hands back to heart. Take a little sway side to side. So the trick with your horse pose or goddess here, I believe this is also kind of second position-ish for ballet, is that you want the knees to point down the middle of the feet. So having the feet just turned out enough that the knees and the feet line up. Let's take your right hand or right elbow to your right thigh. Left arm's going to reach up and over into a side bend. Bring it back to center. We'll do the other side. Left hand or left elbow on thigh, right arm up and over. Go back to the right side one more time. And back to the left side. And let's go right back to center. This time taking both hands to the sky if it makes sense. Maybe the hips drop a wee bit more. And then rooting into the inner and outer edges of your feet, let's slowly start to straighten the legs. Turn yourself back into warrior 2 facing the front of the mat. Hands come down around that front foot, back heel lifts. And let's step back into downward facing dog, any way that works for you. Now, just as before, you have the opportunity to stay and be still. You have the opportunity to roll through that vinyasa. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees up or down, chaturanga. Inhale as high into your cobra as you feel ready for. Exhale back to the belly. Press up, table or plank. And downward facing dog. If it makes sense, right leg lifts. As you exhale, right knee, right upper arm. It might touch, it might not. Remember, you can stay in your 3-leg down dog. Inhale, up and back. One more time. Right knee, right arm. Up and back. Right foot between your hands. Pop onto your fingertips, look forward. Left foot steps forward as well. Make it work for you. And exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Chair pose number 2. Just a couple breaths. Hands at heart, hands to sky, whatever feels nice. You are in control of your chair and how low it goes. If your hands are reaching, let's bring hands to heart. Shift into that left foot. Keep your left knee bent. Right leg comes up any amount. When you're ready, right leg heads back. Your right leg can straighten any amount or stay bent. Challenge yourself by trying to keep that left leg bent. And then we'll bend your left knee more, root into the heel. Step back, crescent lunge. Once you found your feet, we'll ground that back heel, open up. Warrior two. We'll keep the front knee bent. Right hand down the back leg, left hand reaching up. You can stay there with the front knee bent or inhale. Straighten the front leg. Exhale, bend the front knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more time. We'll bring your left elbow to your left thigh. Right hand to the sky. Turn that right palm behind you, bend the elbow, and bring that arm into your half bind. So right hand into the small of the back somewhere. Use that to roll the whole right side of your rib cage back. Create some space in that shoulder. And let's turn your gaze down toward your left foot. And then turn your gaze to look to the side. And then little by little up toward the sky. And then let your gaze settle where it makes the most sense for your neck. Final 2 breaths here. Create as much space in that right side of the body as possible. Maybe the left arm goes forward. And we'll bring it back up. Warrior two. Parallel the feet. See if you can remember which thumb was on top. We're going to pull the hands into that clasp one more time. If you can't remember, don't worry about it. Soft bend to the knees. Let's fold. Let the head release. Root into your feet, bring yourself back up. Release the arms. No horse pose this time, just right back to warrior two. Hands come down around your front foot. And let's step our way back into downward facing dog. You have a couple breaths of your space here. Maybe you roll through that vinyasa, plank, chaturanga back bend. Maybe you stay in down dog. Stay with your breath wherever you're at. And then if and when it makes sense, left leg to the sky. Use your exhale to bring that left knee to your left arm. Inhale up and back. One more time, bring it in. And back. Left foot steps between the hands. Pop onto the fingertips, look forward, right foot joins. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Come on up, chair. Shanti's up here sleeping. You can't see her. But as I came up to chair, she let the most sarcastic sigh, which I imagine some of you did too. Life is so hard. Okay, hands to heart. Weight into your right foot. Let's step into that right foot. Bring your left knee up, and you can let your right leg straighten this time. Couple breaths here. Find your steadiness. Let's go ahead and take your right hand outside your left leg. And let's take your left hand straight up toward the sky. As you exhale, we're going to bend that left arm into your goalpost shape and start to rotate toward the left. Air high fives. Maybe a high five to your real neighbor if you have one. Some of you stay here. Some of you straighten back through that left arm. One more breath here. Get long from heel through crown of head. And then we'll untwist, but we're going to keep that left knee lifted. Go ahead and just support the leg with both hands. I'm going to actually turn to face you. So option one is going to be to take that left knee out to the side and place the foot for tree pose, thigh, calf, or ankle. Some of you that prefer figure four chair over your tree could do that instead. So you've got both options, tree or figure four chair. Try to pick the one that maybe challenges you a little bit less this morning and instead makes you feel really connected and balanced. Bye, Michael. Namaste. Release your lifted foot to the ground. Have 2 feet on the floor, 2 hands by your side. Maybe drop the gaze or close the eyes, couple breaths. Taking that breath into your entirety, feeling it across the entire body, but then feeling it deep within yourself as well. That place within you, wherever you feel it, where all the good stuff resides. Call it whatever resonates with you, peace, light, love, truth. Breathe into that place within yourself. And then let's finish this off. Second side of balance. We're going to come into your left foot. I'll just keep facing you. Nope, sorry. Let's start in chair pose. Hands at heart. So giving yourself that little bend in the knees to feel the rebound as we come up onto that left foot. Let's bring your right knee into your chest. When you feel like you found steadiness, we'll take left hand outside your right knee. Right hand straight up to the sky. So very little twist at this point. When you're ready, we'll goal post that right arm. Start to find your rotation here, maybe more air high fives. Foot high five as well. Boom. Maybe you reach back through that right hand. Get a little taller from the heel through the head. And then we'll untwist, bringing the hand back onto the thigh. And then we'll find either your figure four chair or your tree pose. Again, the one that feels maybe a little less wobbly and shaky today and a little bit more grounded so that you can really continue to connect deeply with yourself. Take the hands wherever it makes sense for you. And if you step out, just take a breath and come back in. Final breath wherever you're at. Foot to floor. Take 2 hands to the sky, big reach up. You can keep it really straight, or if it feels nice, take those hands wide and slightly back, a little back bend here. And then hands to heart. And as your hands find your heart, let's take your feet out as wide as your mat, toes out, heels in. And we're going to start to bend your knees and sit down. We're eventually coming all the way down to the ground, but you might take a breath or two in football coach. You might take a breath or two in your squats. And then, not necessarily gracefully, there might be a plop involved. Let's come on down to the ground. As you come on down, let's bring soles of the feet together, knees open. And let's bring the hands onto feet or ankles or shins as it makes sense. Big and little toe sides of your feet pressing into one another. Hips heavy, spine tall. And maybe you let the eyes close or the gaze drop. Continuing to feel the breath within yourself. Connecting gradually on deeper and deeper and deeper layers with yourself. And we are deeply connected with ourselves and that place within us, right, of whatever you want to call it, of light, of truth, of peace. It makes it easier for us to connect with others as well. Let's bring your hands outside those knees, help press the legs together. I'm gonna let the legs slide out to straight, toes toward the sky, heels pressing forward. Let's bring the hands beside you. Thighs pressed down toward the floor, hips heavy, spine long, head lifting. Some of you, especially if your low back feels tender today, I'm going to invite you to stay here and stay upright. If you would like to walk the hands forward along the legs and take a fold here, you can begin to fold forward. Couple more breaths wherever you're at. If you're folded, let's bring yourself back upright. And let's bend your knees, bring the feet to the ground. Hold on to the backs of your thighs as you lower yourself down onto your back. And give those knees a hug in as you come down. Taking a moment here to feel, to acknowledge, to relish that moment of release into the floor. And let's take your legs out long, take your arms up overhead. Just like we started class, let's exhale, bring your right knee in, reach down. Maybe you kiss the knee, maybe the head stays down. Inhale, release the leg, reach long. Exhale, left knee in. Inhale, get long. Let's bring your right knee back in. Bring the head up for a moment if that works in your body. And then keep that leg hugged in as you bring the head down. Let's keep the left hand holding and supporting the right leg. Right arm will open out to the side. And let's guide your right leg across your body into a twist, coming onto your outer left thigh as much as you'd like. Feeling your breath deeply down the spine, deeply into your abdomen. And we'll bring ourselves back to center. And I want you to take your right foot to the inner left thigh and just let that knee fall open. We'll call it sleeping tree pose. It could also be drunken tree pose. Just let that right knee fall open. And feel that moment where some of those muscles that have been moving us this morning and stabilizing us just release. And then sneak your right leg out to straight. Arms back up overhead, get long. And let's bring your left knee in as you exhale. Reach down, hold on. Maybe you curl the head up for a moment. And then bring the head down, but keep holding the leg. Right hand will support the leg, left arm releases to the side, will guide you into the twist. Glad you liked the cover, Brooke. Let's return to our back. And we'll take that sleeping tree pose again. So left foot to the inner right thigh, let that knee just fall open. Relishing, savoring that moment where everything relinquishes, releases. And noticing and feeling within your own body if there's anything else that you need to feel complete here. And if there's some additional pose or movement that you need, now is the time for it. And if and when you're ready, we'll take that left leg, slide it out to straight. Get everything just right. Legs, hips, arms, shoulders, where the body feels supported enough to be able to release here. And if you need to be in a slightly different shape to feel that release, find the shape that works for you. And as though you could breathe into the entire body, your lungs existed everywhere. Let's take a big breath in and a full, complete breath out. And from here, let the breath get soft and natural. And as though there were maybe like a lake or an ocean deeply inside of you that you could float upon. Let yourself settle deeply within yourself. And in that place where the good parts of you, the good things in you, the authentic version of you resides. If you would like some more time here, I invite you and encourage you to stay longer. But if you are ready to begin the rest of your Saturday, start to breathe a little more deeply and fully into yourself once again. And as it makes sense to put movement back into your body, let that movement find its way back in. And just easily and slowly guide yourself up to a comfortable seat. And as you find that seat, let your palms come together in front of your heart, bowing the head ever so gently into yourself. Thank you all so much for practicing together this morning. The peace, love, light, and truth that exists within me honors those same things within you. Namaste. Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed your practice this morning, and I hope that you have a wonderful weekend ahead of you. We appreciate any contributions or donations for class that you feel comfortable making right now. Information about that is in the description of this video or this class and also up on our website. We'll be at it again Monday at 6 o'clock. I'll be teaching that one. And then Wednesday at 6, Jamie will be teaching. And then we'll be back at it again next Saturday morning at 10 a.m. That'll be our schedule again until things go back to quote unquote normal. We are going to head over to Zoom and do a little post-class cheers. If you would like to join us, I'll post that link in a moment. And we were supposed to be our Salem Yogis at Salem Ale Works this morning. So that is the gift card that we are giving away today. Just post a picture of your practice or your yoga and beer sticker and what it means to you or something related to yoga and beer in your practice on social media. Tag us, and that drawing will happen tomorrow morning on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you guys so much. Catherine, I needed it too. I'm glad that you enjoyed. Danny, enjoy your day. Elena and Diane, thank you so much. Mom, love you. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Tara. Neil, thank you. Karen, appreciate you being here with us. Guys, as much as I can't see your faces, I enjoy seeing your names and your notes. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. This video will now be a recording. Have a beautiful day, Elena, as well. Hi, Debbie. This video will now be a recording if you like this practice and want to do it again and again. I'm going to log off for now and head over to Zoom. Here comes the link for Zoom. Boom. There it is. See you in a moment if you want to come. Cheers. If not, have a wonderful day.